it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1, Episode 6, Part 6. I am finally watching this. My computer died last week. I finally have it back, and so I'm a week late to this reaction, which is very, very annoying. But I'm also very excited to finish off this season. I've loved every second of it, so I do hope, I'd love to get more, but I also understand that this is just a contained one-off season as well. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let us go. She's still very injured. All these poor innocent people just trying to survive. Oh. In this terrifying time when Leia is terrified, she was trying to make another kid smile. Luke. Oh. Oh. They all just want to protect everybody. You are the future, Leia. Our worst fear may be coming to pass. Bless them. It's the fact that he's able to protect these kids, given everything their parents meant to him and everything that happened. Fuck.
We're tracking an escape craft. There's one life form.
Do you know which one?
Run.
I'm not afraid.
Yes, but you're 10!
Prepare my ship.
Yep. If you brought more people, you probably would have caught him, but okay. It's all fine. Right now he is preparing to either die or kill his former brother. And he is preparing to kill his former brother. Oh, you have to go back to give that back to her now, don't you? But so we won't be scared. Here we go.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan? I will do what I must. Then you will die.
Fucking hell. All the years of playful sparring, all the love, all the betrayal. What is your plan, Reva? Vader does not know about this place and he will never return. This is both awful and epic at the same time. Obviously they both come out of this alive, but how?
You will always lose.
Jesus Christ. He has the high ground.
Be
Fuck. Did you just think that dropping some rocks on him would kill him? You have failed Padawan. How does she know what the kids mean? By justice, does she think she means killing? Did she get from the message that Luke is Anakin's child? Because Anakin doesn't know the kid exists. Anakin doesn't technically exist currently in his own head. But you know, like, we as an audience from down the line know that Vader probably would feel something if he heard word that his child was dead, but at the same time he already thinks that his child is dead, so, oh, what, Reva? She's very, very wounded right now, and all of her grand plans have come to, she's kind of desperate at the minute. I'm not, like, criticising this as acting, or, her acting is phenomenal. I'm not criticising this as, like, a plot line or anything, but it's just like, Reva, come on! what are you doing? These poor kids being put through hell. Yep. Testing his newfound strength, or refound strength. They're the reason you have hope. They're the reason you can keep fighting. All the goodness that was in Anakin is in those babies. True strength. True strength comes from love. It's like he's got a renewed purpose. There he is. Why are you hunting down a child after everything that happened to you? I get that she's, you know, not exactly healthily dealing with all that happened to her, but still, think about this for even a second. Oh, Luke. This is brutal. Fuck. Fuck. I mean, without the helmet, he'd be dead. Is he gonna show him mercy? Because... I know. You wanna believe he's still in there, that you could help him.
Anakin's gone.
Fuck.
I'm what remains.
Fuck.
I'm sorry, Anakin.
He's carried that with him for so long.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker.
Fuck.
I will destroy you.
This is so much. It's almost like a small part of him hoped he could make amends, he could make it right, he could get through to him, and one day Luke will do that, but... Fuck. Probably an argument to be made that he maybe should... Fuck. Have killed him here to stop his rampage, but then there just would have been another Sith apprentice. Fuck. And we wouldn't have won in the end. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Just the scale of everything that just happened there, from them fighting again to Obi-Wan finally getting to apologise to Anakin for failing him. It's a very messy situation, it's a very painful situation, it's a true tragedy, everything that happens with the loss of Anakin. Anakin is to blame, Obi-Wan is to blame, the Jedi are to blame, Palpatine is extremely to blame, but also just freaking rotten circumstances, and if someone had thought to look around then and things like that. But for Obi-Wan to finally get to apologise, because even all this time that he's thought Anakin was just literally dead, he's carried that guilt with him. It's part of what drove him into just hiding, completely hiding from the world. And now to finally get to say to him, I'm sorry for everything, is huge. And then to have Anakin, Vader, say to him, oh, like, you didn't kill him, I killed him. It reinforces how much of the blame is on Anakin's own shoulders. Yes, Obi-Wan, there's stuff maybe he could have done, he could have seen sooner, he could have done more. But when it all came down to it, Anakin made the bad choices with the lot he was given, and in some ways that relieves some of that guilt from Obi-Wan. I mean, it's never going to make him be like, okay, cool, I did nothing wrong, it's all great. Of course not. He will always recognise the mistakes he made. And I think anybody who loved somebody and then watched them lose themselves to evil, whether it's like in a real life sort of metaphorical scenario or in like this, you will always feel the pain of having lost that person, of the potential they had, of the goodness they had, and thinking, what could I have done? Surely I could have done more. He's never going to lose that with him. But it really just adds a little layer of freedom to Obi-Wan, that like, that guilt, he's got to apologise, and he's heard like, yeah, I didn't cast the final blow, you did. My friend is truly gone. But he knows that that goodness and that light is shining in the children that were left behind. and he'll briefly get to see that in the future before he does die to Anakin. It just was so huge and so many layers, and it adds more layers to him telling Luke in the future of Darth Vader killed your father, because Darth Vader himself was like, I killed Anakin. Obviously it always made sense, but it just adds layers to that. It would have been better if he just hid. What good will this do? Vader does not even know this boy exists. Don't, I mean, obviously she doesn't do it, but choose not to do it. Don't do it. Choose not to. Don't be stopped. Make the choice. She's bringing him home. It wasn't justice by any means, right? I mean, obviously Luke isn't dead. I'm proud of you, Reva. Because she's just been through hell and tried to understand and cope with it and survive. She's just lost. They would have been so proud of you for not doing it. Oh. You were better than Anakin ever was. No. You came very close. Exactly. This actually is a really beautiful arc. He's just a lost soul, grieving and healing and traumatized. It's the Groomer in Chief. He's not wrong. Only he'd seen the light sooner. But it would take something pretty huge, like the desperate plea of one of his own children. She's taking it seriously for once. With her future in mind, of course. That's our girl. I'm so glad she's home.
You said there were many ways to leave.
I was right.
I'm going to do this.
Bless her. I'm so proud of her. Oh, she got to say goodbye. Overshadow.
Read the young lady from her droid.
You saved the world.
We these are qualities that came from you.
Yeah.
Yours are gifts from your father.
Yeah, she's got all the good parts of Anakin, both she and Luke do. Cool. You're perfect. Just, everything about the Leia and Obi-Wan relationship has just been everything. Oh my god, Lola fits in the holster, I didn't even notice.
You want to meet him?
These kids are why he keeps going. A reminder of the future and the love he shared for their parents, and he still has.
Hello there. Master Commander. Well, where's to go?
It's so beautiful. This series has really been about bridging the gap from the guilt and the pain and the agony of the prequel series into the original series. It's beautiful. Obi-Wan Kenobi has been a phenomenal series. I have absolutely loved every single second of it. Obviously my favourite parts were Obi-Wan and Leia's relationship, and then him getting to meet Luke at the end. Because these kids, they're the hope. You know, at the end of the prequel trilogy, when there is no hope, when it's like the light is gone from the universe. The person that was supposed to win over the dark side has joined them, and everything feels so bleak. Those babies are a reminder that there is always hope for the future, and that making the world much of a better place as you can for the children so that they can go on to make it better is the important thing. And this show did a really brilliant job of encapsulating that, and also encapsulating what Leia would call her son Ben. I loved every second, from Leia sneaking Lola away with him, to him telling her how she was like her parents, and him seeing the two kids when he was losing hope, because that love, that strength gave him the will to live on. And it's like Anakin is dead, Anakin is gone, but he lives on in his children. He doesn't live on in this shell of a man that's walking around huffing and puffing, but he does live on through his children, just like Padme does. All the good parts of them are in their babies, and that's some sort of solace. I talked in the middle of the episode about the importance of the scene where Obi-Wan got to apologise, and Vader said to him, you know, I killed Anakin, you didn't destroy him, I did. Which I think is huge for Obi-Wan. For coming face to face with him and being able to see the damage, to see the fallout, to see the truth, to see how far gone Anakin is, I mean, Vader is, really helps to, like, at the point when they fought, it was over. I don't know how Obi-Wan could have turned things around at that point in time. Yes, there would have been, hindsight is amazing, and there probably were dozens of examples of situations throughout the Clone Wars era where he could have turned things around, but when you're living through life, you can't see those things are coming. I think this series did such a brilliant job of showing you just how lost Obi-Wan was, and seeing him find himself and begin to forgive himself, or at least process the trauma he went through and begin to heal from it and begin to heal through it. I actually really enjoyed Reva's arc. I know that I remember seeing someone saying they were really excited about the storyline they had for her, and so I think the first episode when she was just an Inquisitor, I was kind of like, but the fact that she was one of those children and that she wasn't loyal to the Inquisitors and the Empire, she wanted revenge. And I think in this episode, she was just desperate and in pain and lost and lashing out. Her great plan had failed. Potentially, I do think she probably enacted it a bit too soon, but then Vader always knew what she was planning. And killing Luke would have done nothing. Vader would never have known. It's not like every time she goes for a meeting with Vader, he's like holding up a picture of some babies, like, if only I knew where they were now. Vader, as far as he is concerned, his children are dead. I mean, again, it's not public knowledge that he even had children, but I guess she understood that the children were important to Vader with the message. But like, it was a silly plan, it was a dumb plan, but it was the plan of someone clutching at straws because her entire life has been built on this revenge mission. She's going to get justice, and that is snatched away from her at the last second, and she's forced to realise that the game she thought she was playing a different game entirely, and she didn't know. And she is reliving the trauma she went through as a kid all over again. She never got out of the place she was in, and this moment of seeing Luke helpless, she could do it, but it would make her him. And she did not make the choice Anakin made, despite, in a lot of ways, having had far more reason to go dark than Anakin did. Human mentalities are different. She chose not to. She chose to even return him to his parents. It wasn't like she just left. And now, hopefully, she will begin to process everything and heal from her trauma and make better choices going forwards to make up for the bad choices she made in the past. So I did really, really enjoy Reva's arc. How it all turned up. My biggest fear was going to be that she was going to try to kill Luke and like Obi-Wan would get there just in time and stop her, because I was like, no, for this arc to work, for this to be the masterpiece it could be, she needs to realise that she does not want to become Vader, and realise that what she is doing and what she's been doing all of this time, you know, she has hunted down how many Jedi because what was right was getting to Vader at the end of the day, but she's finally starting to take the steps for herself and not living through her grief and her trauma, and I'm really, really proud of her for that. This was such a good episode. The fights between Vader and Obi-Wan were traumatic as hell. You know, honestly, I adore the Star Wars franchise. I've really got into it since The Mandalorian came out. I liked it before, a couple of years before The Mandalorian. Like, when the sequels came out, I watched the original movies and I liked them. I do just genuinely struggle with any media that is clearly dated. You know, by watching it with the special effects and some of the dialogue and some of the like the quality of the film, my brain has this weird disconnect with any old movie. I do not enjoy it as much as I would do if it was made now, and that is a failing on my part. I wish I could switch that off, but it's always been that way. So like the original series, when I first watched them, like when I was 13, I really struggled with, because I was kind of like, I don't think I think I just watched the first movie. But rewatching them all so that I could go to the cinema and see the sequels, I did enjoy them a lot more. I still haven't seen the final sequel, but The Mandalorian really grounded me in the world of Star Wars, and it got me attached to the world. And then starting the Clone Wars, I didn't have any of the dated issues or anything, and that just really threw me into it. And then when I, so like before I watched the Clone Wars, rewatching the movies with this care for the world really got me into them. So I'm really into Star Wars now. But I'm also so aware that like my experience, how emotional I found this, will pale in comparison to people who it's been in their lives during like their whole life. I mean, my childhood was watching Stargate and Farscape and things like that. So something on like, if that were to be coming back or something like that, I know how emotional that would make me. That was my comparative. My mum, she's the one that got me really into sci-fi. Like, she's always been into sci-fi. She wasn't into Star Wars. She saw it at the cinema when she was a kid and just wasn't interested. I think she often jokes that it was to do with the fact that she went with friends and they weren't really paying attention, and she kind of, but she's just never been into Star Wars, so she never got me into Star Wars. And now I am. But basically this was everything. I have loved it. It's been a joy to watch this show, the way that they have honoured the movie's legacy, the way they have enhanced it. You know, every step they have taken has only enriched my enjoyment of the movies. I want to rewatch the original series now so that I can have in my head that Leia knew Luke, that Leia knew Ben Kenobi, and like Obi-Wan, and like when she sent that message, she'd met him and she knew him. Like, there were just so many layers to everything now that I'm so excited for. I'm so excited for the rest of the Star Wars TV shows. I think the next ones, I don't know if anyone's even here yet. Hi, if you're still listening to this review a week late. The next shows that come, I'm pretty sure, run parallel with like Rebels Bad Batch time and potentially address Rebels Bad Batch things. So I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna not watch the next live action movie, new TV show of Star Wars until I finish the animated ones, so that I don't get spoiled. Because unlike this one, which was set before, this is going to be set after. But I am very excited for them. This show's been a joy to watch. I'm so thankful that I fell in love with Star Wars when I did. It is a beautiful time to be alive. I was just, the portrayal of Obi-Wan, of Leia, even of Luke, he was hardly in it, but he was great. Of Obi-Wan's love for his kids, but also his understanding of his place in the world, and of seeing Obi-Wan find his way back to being himself. After everything he's been through, if he were to just give up and even go dark, it would make sense. But he doesn't. He stays strong, he stays good, he stays true. He found his way and he finally was able to talk to his master, and it was everything. And I love this show. I have waffled a lot, but I love this. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.